you can have the most aerodynamic bike in the world.
And the most aerodynamic position on that bike.
But if you cannot sustain that position for the duration of your race, well, it will count for nothing.
So we're here today with 10 tips for staying aero.
It's tempting when you get a triathlon bike or new aero bars to slam them into an extreme position, looking a little bit like Sebastian Kienle, and ride off. Well, this is going to be uncomfortable, unsustainable, and could even be dangerous. If you're suddenly in this extreme new position, you're likely to bring on an injury, but also the handling is going to feel completely different, and you could find yourself veering off at the first corner. So just make sure you start really slowly and you make small adjustments around 5 to 10 degrees, and gradually you can become more aggressive in that position.
Your hands can be up or down, wrists cocked or wrists flat, wrists wide apart or wrists really narrow close to each other. Often this position is thrust upon you by your bike, but it doesn't need to be. Try some other options and choose what's most comfortable and stable and relaxed for you.
You can even change the elbow cups that your bike comes with, or in the case of clip-on aero bars, you've got different options to choose from, and whatever it is, you can go for 3D custom printed ones, and they can make the most difference when it comes to your position, because you're going to be spending a long time resting on this part of your arm, so it's worth the investment.
The helmet and sunnies you have been using may not work as well in your aero position. A helmet brow or sunglasses frame that obstructs your view means you have to hold your head in a higher position, which is not going to be as comfortable. Also, in your aero position, your spine is going to support less weight, which means your muscles have to do more work. So every gram you add on your helmet is going to make a big difference, especially when you've been out there for a few hours.
Even if you've done everything right, it will take a while to adjust to getting used to the aero bar. So don't head out on your 5-hour ride and aim to spend all the time there, because that's just not realistic. Instead, just practice by alternating, spending a few minutes on your bars and then a few minutes back out. But do make sure you start to build this up, because it can be easy to start off doing it and then realise you've got to the end of your long ride and hardly spent any time on the bars at all. So maybe even set an alarm to remind you to go on and when to come back off again. And if you're not ready to head out onto the open road, then start by practicing on the turbo when you're in an entirely safe environment and you can really dial in that position. Or if you are going to head out, we'd suggest finding a route that you know inside out, that's quite quiet and doesn't really have too many potholes or any traffic lights or any speed bumps that are going to interfere with you staying on those bars.
The position you find really comfortable on your long ride at an easy pace may feel very different when you're racing at race pace watts. As you push harder on the pedals and pull harder on the bars, you may find yourself slipping off the nose of your saddle, or you can't grip the bars in the same place. Now, some of this is just practice and getting used to that position, but some of it is actually adjusting your position. Either way, you don't really discover this for the first time on race day when you start really working hard.
A good position doesn't necessarily require a ridiculously strong core, but you are going to be using muscles in a way that you're maybe not used to, and trying to sustain this good position will require a strong enough core and lower back. So doing exercises such as a plank, for example, will help you to maintain that aero position for longer.
Along with race pace efforts, another effective way of getting used to pushing higher power in your aero bars is to climb in your aero bars. A note on this though, it's only really for training, as it's not the most effective and efficient way of getting up a hill. On race day, as those aero gains diminish as you slow down, you're far better off standing up out of the saddle for the steeper bits.
An aggressive aero position requires supple hamstrings and hip flexors, a flexible lower back and a flexible and strong neck. Now, all of these can be trained off the bike, and we even know some pros who will practice being in their aerodynamic position whilst lying on the floor watching the TV. But be aware, the more that you stretch and become flexible in these areas, it will actually enable you to adapt your position, so you need to make sure you keep reviewing that regularly.
Finally, you probably don't need to be told, but aero bars have no place in a group ride. Riding on someone's wheel when you don't have immediate access to your brakes is never a good idea. That's not to say you can't go riding in a group or with other people, but if you want to practice being in your aero bars and get used to that position, you're either going to have to go off the front, a few meters off the back, or better yet, just fly solo.
Well, we hope that these tips are going to help you be more confident and comfortable on your bike and ultimately lead to a faster bike split in your next race.
If you've enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button to support the channel, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos about your biking and everything triathlon.